talking with you this morning about how to keep your screw threads from stripping. As an example, it can happen that a screw can strip threads in an aluminum comb. You might see a steel screw stripping something in brass, and you might see that with a screw that holds on a reed plate. So I'm going to just kind of explain what's going on, what the problem is, and how to deal with it successfully. And of course, this would only be true for going into metal, aluminum or brass. It isn't necessarily true for wood. What I'm going to talk about, the solution will not work for wooden combs with a screw going into a wooden comb. They're not precise enough in their fit. And of course, a lot of the screws on an ABS comb actually don't anchor into the plastic. They'll go into a piece of brass. Okay, so the problem is see, these screws, they're carbon steel and they're really, really hard. And aluminum is a pretty soft metal. There's wood. Certain woods are harder than aluminum. So you put this screw in with a little bit of a twist where it's out of alignment or isn't started correctly in the threading, in the lower material, and you're going to start buggering up those threads. As an example, I've seen threads in a comb in this stripped on harmonicas that have screws that go this way, where you're screwing this way. Occasionally you'll see, like on a Seidel Saxony, you might see stripping, but it was really user error, nothing with the manufacturer. So in this case, what you do is you just put the screwdriver in and turn it to the left until you hear a click. Okay? That means that the threads in the screw just cleared the threads in the comb. Then the screw can go in with no problem. This is how easy a screw should go in. If a screw's not going in easily, stop and redo. And I wouldn't ever make the threads overly tight either. You don't really need to overly tighten them here. So that's what you do here, okay? Now I'll explain that Saxony, because you may be interested in that. Now, why might this one strip? Like many harmonicas, this top piece here has curvature purposefully because it provides down pressure then into this section of the slide. So it curves like this. So when you go to screw it in, it's already up a little bit on this end often. And so you start turning and you start augering away the threads. So you'd flatten this down with your thumb, push down on this before you tighten up. So that's that one. Now, let's do a screw in a reed plate. I always wear glasses, some kind of protective thing, because sometimes these will bust open. I haven't seen it on Seidel, but no other well-known players have had that problem. So suppose that we pull a screw like this, okay? What you can do is just turn to the left until you hear the click, and then take it in gently. It's the same thing as it was on the other one. So Again, the message is that be careful when you're working with steel screws going into aluminum or brass. Try and make sure that it's going in easily when you're screwing it. And you can use that, come back a little bit until you hear a click, which will definitely help you to make sure that you're aligned properly, the thread to the thread. If you do strip out a screw, the repair is probably going to be beyond your ability to do. There are some things that a machinist can do that are effective. They can auger out the stripped area and take in a larger screw. Sometimes you can even drive a larger screw in manually. But as far as putting a goop in there, no. Putting a piece of paper, no. That's not really going to work well. Not on a metal. It would with something into wood, but not into aluminum. So it'll be a pretty serious problem. If you strip one out, probably you're just going to end up with a screw that's not holding. Okay, I hope that's of help.